and welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, I'm Diana and I'm the creator of Money Boss Mama, and here I teach women how to save money, pay off debt, shift their money mindsets, as well as stick to a budget. Now, I rarely ever do videos like this because my budgets rarely change. They typically always stay the same, and I create a budget for every paycheck. So paycheck 1 of the month and paycheck 2 of the month, using the half payment method. And since I am salary, so my paychecks don't ever change, I divide up the numbers evenly between the two. But even before I was salary, I did the same thing because I like to keep my numbers relatively the same. I'm a very simple person, and in order for me to stay consistent, I know that I need to keep my numbers pretty close to the same amount every single. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and turn you guys around as I am writing out my numbers. I did print out my budget Excel spreadsheet just for the aesthetic of the video, but let's go ahead and shift this thing. All right, so I've got my income already listed out here. This is one paycheck, and because I am a very simple person, any HSA, FSA, or 401k contributions, they don't even make it to my budget because they don't make it to my bank accounts. And so I'm starting here in the housing category. Remember that I'm breaking everything up between paychecks. So I get paid bi-weekly, so my monthly amounts will be broken up and divided by 2. So my rent / mortgage, I don't have a mortgage, is $350 because my rent recently increased to $700, which was just a $5 increase. I promise I'm gonna write better after this, but it's kind of hard to position myself. So that's $350 that I take out of each paycheck. Same thing for insurance, $750 for renter's insurance. And then now for toiletries, I do use a cash envelope for toiletries, and I budget $40 per paycheck. This includes like laundry detergent, tissue, if I need trash bags, anything like that. I like to take out in cash because it's not really an essential bill. I don't need it in order to live, comfortably like I would if I needed to pay my rent. So I like to keep myself in check by taking it out in cash. Now for electric, I know this is an amount that varies based on usage, but I just took based off my last 3 to 4 bills. I found the average and then added a $10 to $20 buffer. I've been doing it this way for years, and anytime I'm consistently coming over budget, I know it's time for me to go back and redo my calculations. But what's really good about this is that anytime you come under budget, which I often do, that amount is just sitting in your account that's specifically for your bills or wherever your bills are, and it helps to offset any higher than normal months that you may have. And I budget $37.50 for water. And for cable / Wi-Fi, I just have Wi-Fi, I budget $35 for my cable bill. I did negotiate this. It was about to be over $100. I could only get them down to $70, but still, it's still better than nothing, and I didn't want to keep pushing it because I don't want to rock the boat. I'll take whatever you can give me. And for phone, I budget $40 per paycheck for this. My phone bill used to be way cheaper, but my kids both have tablets, and when we're out of the house, their tablets need Wi-Fi, and so they're both always on my hotspot. So in order to get a good plan with a hotspot, it's still prepaid, I had to up the cost a little bit. And now for groceries, I do budget $180 per paycheck for groceries. And I will say, I know I'm that person. I'm just not going to cook every single day. I'm not. So some of this amount does go for eating out. I still count it in groceries because it's still food that we're eating, mostly for dinner. And so I won't spend this whole entire $180 at the grocery store because I like to leave a little room for us to eat out, and I don't want any food to go to waste. So I'll only just get groceries for like the first 4 to 5 days, and then once that food is up, I'll go back to the grocery store, and this helps to keep me within this $180 budget, and oftentimes I will come under. And now for healthcare, I don't even have this section because, as I stated, any of my HSA or FSA contributions, those are automatically pulled out from my paychecks. I don't see it unless I'm needing to make a withdrawal, so it doesn't make it to my budget. Now for savings, which is the reason why I had to even adjust my budget in the first place. First, I will start with just regular savings. Right now, my goal is for a down payment, and I just have $320 from each paycheck going into that account. If you've ever watched my update videos, then you know $320 rolls over and is automatically contributed to my Ally savings account. My 529, I have a 529 with my daughter as the beneficiary right now. I don't have one for my son because I don't know if both of them are going to pursue a higher education. But I have $20 per paycheck going into the 529 plan. For summer fun, that sinking fund is pretty much done for. And now the UGMAs, this is a new expense within my budget. I recently opened UGMA accounts for both my son and my daughter, and I will link the video all about UGMAs up at the top. But I contribute $35 a month, $20 to my son's UGMA, and then $15 to my daughter's UGMA account, totaling the $35. And that broken down between each paycheck is $17.50 for the UGMAs. And then for giving, I contribute $10 per paycheck into a sinking fund for giving, whether that's for donations or if someone needs assistance. I have funds set aside just to help them out. And now, obviously, I don't have any debt, thank God. But for entertainment, this is obviously going to be for the non-essentials. For activities, I do budget $120. That is to cover me and both of my kids. Obviously, this is really tight, and sometimes I will admit, sometimes we are making it by the skin of our teeth to stay within this $120 amount. And for beauty, I do budget $30 per paycheck. And both of these are cash envelopes. I use the cash envelope system for both of these expenses because they're not essentials and it's really easy to get carried away and come over budget. So the cash just helps me to stay within the amount because there's like an emotional attachment to my cash whenever it's not via a debit card, you know. And Ideal Image, I did get a laser hair removal package when I became debt-free. And the way that I got it, it wasn't through financing. I chose the option where I have a monthly amount that I pay, and if I stop paying, then they stop taking me for treatments. So I didn't have to go through my credit or anything. And so with Ideal Image, I budget $41 per paycheck. So $82 is what they subtract from my account every month. And so I do not care to overshoot when it comes to getting through these treatment packages. I just want to keep it at the amount that's due. And so this is good for me right now. When I'm done with my treatments, I will actually be done with the payments as well. And for childcare, attorney, I don't have these. But for Starbucks, I did recently put in an amount for specifically Starbucks because I was eating up my personal funds on iced coffee, and that's not really fair to my kids if I'm using most of the money on me. And so I started to contribute $25 and just loading it into my Starbucks app. This way, there's more personal funds that I can, distribute across both of my kids. And I don't have to feel so guilty whenever I'm pulling up at Starbucks knowing that I am using the personal funds we're supposed to share. So I load that into my app, and that helps me to get my stars as well. If you know, you know. And for streaming services, I have Disney Plus. That's about $8 a month, I believe, $7.50. And so I budget $4 per paycheck for that. This does go into my bills account. And then for miscellaneous, which is basically my buffer amount, I budget $10.50. This I rarely ever use. So every paycheck is just accumulating. I probably have about $200 to $300. I have to go back through my Excel spreadsheet comments to see, but it's quite a bit that I have in my buffer account. But sometimes I will say it saved me plenty of times. So I don't care to go a paycheck without sending that money over, because eventually I'm going to need it for something. And this is to absorb any overages that I have when it comes to any of these expenses. And for gas is increasing. Why? I don't know. And I am hitting this amount now. The past few paychecks, I have been coming right at this amount, almost over $70. And I work from home because the gas prices just keep increasing, and I still have to take my kids to school and pick them up. And so I am pretty soon probably going to change this to $80. This is what it was before the pandemic. But right now I'm just going to keep it at $70 per paycheck. And then for my insurance, for my car, auto insurance, I budget $30 per paycheck, because it costs me $60 per month. And so this is my entire budget. This is the whole $1468, because I do like to use the zero-based budgeting method, where every dollar has a quote-unquote job. As you can see here, not every dollar has a specific job, but this $10.50 is intended to help absorb any overages. So it kind of does have a job, but it's not really going for anything specific. But as you can see, it is super simple to create a budget. As long as you know your expenses and you've calculated a safe amount to send to these expenses each time based on the frequency you choose, it's not super hard. Even if you're not a numbers person, which I am not, you're basically just doing basic addition and subtraction. But hopefully this was super helpful to you all, and I will catch you in the next video.